Graham, good morning. We're in the Warwick Museum again, and today we're talking about periscopes, trench periscopes, which were an extremely important part of trench warfare. But I believe they started early in the South African campaign in the Boer War.
The Boer War, yes, I heard that. Yes, I'm sorry. Good morning, Martin.
Morning.
Yeah, they started off in the Boer War. Mm-hmm. Were very, very popular by the British government, apparently, so they had quite a few made during the Boer War.
Right, and these were used were the trenches, or were they just behind rocks in the Boer War?
Oh, I think it was used for the trench warfare.
There were trenches out there, okay.
Yeah.
So there must have been quite early ones, and quite cumbersome, I expect, these early periscopes.
Early ones were called, a chap called Yulton, who designed, he was an architect who designed the very first ones, and they were called a Hyperscope.
Hyperscope?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hyperscopes.
Okay. After the Boer War, we started in the First World War with trench periscopes, which I believe to start with fairly rudimentary.
Right, that's great, yes, that's right. Just like a box, about 2 foot long, and there was a mirror at the top and a mirror at the bottom.
This is a model of the very, very early periscopes.
Yes.
Are rather unwieldy, isn't it?
It is, yes. It is a made-up one. It's a modern one made to look old, but you look through the glass there, and you've got a mirror at the bottom, and you can see at the top.
I thought they had sticks with the glass on top to start with.
I think that came afterwards.
Did it?
And I think you're holding one of those, are you now?
I'm holding an early trench periscope. Yeah. As you can see, you look through the little eyepiece in the middle, and the top sticks above the trench, so that your head, in theory, is not exposed to the enemy sniper.
That's right. Yeah. I think that's what they call the Beck's one, and I've got one as well.
And yours is bigger than
mine. Is bigger than yours. Yes, because mine has an extension one on this. This is in the 1918. I can tell that because it's got the date on there. Designed by R and J Beck and used mainly by the officers, and it came in this rather attractive case.
Yes.
And yours has got a handle, but this is a handle on here.
So you can carry that with you wherever you go.
So you can carry that over your shoulder, and it was an easy piece. So you can see the difference between the two now.
So like most things, they evolved during the war.
Correct.
Become better and better and more and more efficient.
Yeah. And
what I'm surprised about is that with Zeiss and the German industry having specialists in optical equipment, theirs weren't better than ours. Have we seen any of their trench periscopes ever?
There has. I've not personally seen one in a museum, but there was, and as you say, Carl Zeiss was one of the most popular ones, and then they had one called the Rabbit.
The Rabbit,
which had two.
Does it look like a rabbit, or
no? It had 2 ears. So if you just give me yours there,
yes.
What it was a bit similar to that, where there was 2 tubes. And you could see through the bottom, but they used quite a lot of them. The Australians think they invented what they call the rifle scope.
Was that attached to a rifle itself?
That was, yes.
Right. So it's an evolution of attaching the periscope to a rifle, which is more cumbersome to carry about, but probably more efficient.
Yeah. Then that was in the Gallipoli. During the Gallipoli campaign. There is evidence that it was used before Gallipoli by a soldier in the Leicestershire Regiment, and it was a contraption that was just fitted onto his rifle, and he was able to pull a cord to fire in safety. So he was able to.
Can't be very accurate, I wouldn't think, would it?
I think the idea was just to make sure that the Germans didn't pop their heads up on there, just to make sure that they knew that the British were still there.
I mean, you get the impression that both sides are sitting in trenches, pulling strings, and not showing their heads.
No, but I think it's the same.
That would save a lot of casualties, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. But I think it's the same as when they all withdrew from Gallipoli, when they all had those homemade contraptions where they had used water to fire a gun every so often.
So they protected their retreat.
Protected their retreat.
A lot of them got away, didn't they? Yes.
So I think it's just fantastic that the human can have all these innovations. Yeah, I really do think that. Well, we had another one, a concertina one by a company called Durs, which made jams and marmalades, and they were from Manchester.
It sounds obvious, really, yes.
It was a concertina.
So you just
fold it up.
Put it up, and then you can almost put it in your pocket.
That was called the lifeboat.
Was that just for officers or men as well?
No, I think families bought one of those for their husbands as a present and sent them over.
Yes.
And then, if I'd received one of those, it would be quite good. At least I thought my family would still think I was safe and quite happy.
Same socks and the periscope.
Exactly, yes.
That makes sense, doesn't it?